Let's talk about mindset. I want you to realize that everything that happens to you happens for a positive reason. Sometimes when things go bad or when things happen, we often look at the negative, the bad side of it. Every event and every circumstance in life has a positive and a negative outcome. Whichever you choose will determine how you experience that event. I want to share a story with you. I used to work in a seniors nursing facility in Calgary, and at some point, narcotic drugs were getting missing. Somebody, very likely a worker, was stealing narcotic drugs that were meant for seniors. And because this thing went on for a considerable amount of time, management decided to investigate to know who is stealing those drugs. After interrogating everybody, they brought a team from Ontario to investigate who is stealing these drugs. The investigation started, but I quickly realized that the investigation was centered around me. Why? Firstly, I was one of the few men working in that unit. And secondly, I was the only black man working there. I realized that I had been called for investigation over and over. I even asked my colleagues if they had also been interrogated the way I was being interrogated. And they all said no. During one of those investigations, I asked them, why is this centered around me? Why haven't you questioned all these other people with whom I work the same way you have been questioning me? Why have I been invited to this meeting over and over? And the questions you ask are directed towards making me confirm that I am the person stealing those medications. So here is Kennedy. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't drink alcohol. I try to stay as healthy as possible, but I'm being investigated for stealing narcotic drugs that are meant for seniors. Isn't that cool? At some point, I realized that nature was trying to push me in a certain direction. So I had to leave that job, but I had to play smart. I knew that if I quit that job or resign, I wouldn't qualify for EI, employment benefit. So I decided to get them to fire me instead of me resigning. To do that, I decided to spit it out to them. I told the manager in the face how racist she was, and I told all of them the bullshit they wanted to hear. A few days after, I got a letter of termination, and that made me qualify for employment benefit. During that period, I took a decision that I'm going to build my business and make it work during those 6 months because I never want to go through this situation again. I never want to work for another person anymore. That was my last job I ever worked in Canada. I took that situation and I turned it into my good. Today, when I drive through that facility, I am thankful for the person who was stealing those narcotic drugs. Although I don't know that person, I'm also thankful for the management that was a little racist, because all that worked to push me to get to where I was going. Was it good to steal narcotics? No. Was it good for the management to be a little racist? No. But all that worked for my good. Everything that happens to you happens for a positive reason. I hope that helps. Rise and shine.